this is you, running through the forest, not a care in the world. What could go wrong? Greetings, survivors and friends, SHADOWFRAX here, and in this episode of your weekly Rust update, the tin can alarm, or peasant laser detector, is now on staging, and this is how it looks. Don't be fooled by its construction though. It may consist of a stick, some wire, and an assortment of fishing floats and cans, including one of RØDE Aid, which sounds enticing, but the crafting recipe is currently 100 wood, 1 rope, and 2 tuna cans. Makes sense. Researching costs 75 scrap, and it's a tier 1 blueprint which you'll find on the tech tree just here, underneath bear traps. Anyway, this is how it works. Pop it down, and then stretch the wire out to a max length of about 2 foundations, and attach it to something else. Then, when someone or something passes through it, it'll make a bicycle bell noise. Not sure which of the cans is doing that, but there you go. I'm told this is just a placeholder sound though. There's a lot of freedom for where these can be placed. You can slap them down in bases, not through walls, but you can place a wall over them at the moment. I'm sure that'll get fixed though. You can also place them in the wild and even at monuments. The only restrictions I've found so far seem to be on roads, non-building areas of caves, vehicles, including the cargo ship, safe zones, and underwater. But you can place them in the underwater labs. The potential exists to be extremely sneaky with these, so I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun with them when they arrive in August's patch. The wire, or string, it might be string, but we'll go with wire, isn't super obvious even in daylight, especially if you're in a hurry. And it will be set off by most things that pass through it, including players, NPCs, vehicles, and even doors. So, for instance, you could use them to create alarms for a monument you're currently searching and keep tabs on other players' movements. And here's a little test to show you how far away you can hear them over open ground. They only have 50 HP, but they do make a noise when being hit. Some other things to note. They don't get broken or lose health when something triggers them, but if the wire does become detached, say you stuck it to a barrel or a tree and that's gone now, it can be rearmed. They can be picked up with a hammer, and each time they lose a quarter of their health, but they can be repaired with wood and cloth. Now, some questions about other possibilities next. An answer as to what's happening with the SKS and all the other stuff that's being worked on, but first, Red Magic have hit me up with their new 9S Pro, a sleek slab of pure Android gaming greatness built to deliver not only the most comfortable gaming experience possible, but also the best looking, being completely flat with no camera bumps or notches anywhere to be seen. Looks so damn good, you'll just want to stroke it all day long. This beast of a phone holds the highest Antutu score for an Android device ever, and it absolutely chews through any games you throw at it, thanks to being powered by the leading version of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset. One flick of a switch activates game mode, from where you can browse games, record and share and customize your experience with some extremely useful plugins. For instance, there's 4D Vibrate, which gives intelligent feedback depending on the game, the ability to force games into different screen ratios, or screen extraction that lets you turn part of the game screen into a floating window, just to name a few. The 9S Pro is absolutely built for gaming with so many great features, including an amazing, almost bezel-less display, illuminated touch triggers, a huge battery that charges fast and lasts for ages, and a gorgeous, upgraded cooling system that lets you keep going for hours. But it's also a top-end Android phone with everything you could ever want, including a camera that records in up to 8K video and 4 different designs to choose from. I could keep going, but to learn more and get your hands on a 9S Pro, just follow my link in the description and pinned comment. Back to the video. So, questions. If a tree that a tripwire's attached to gets destroyed in the forest but nobody's around, does it make a noise? But seriously, if we can use cans to make this, why not a bean can grenade tripwire? It's certainly been done before. Well, I did actually ask about this, and the answer was that there are potential soft plans for an explosive version of this here tin can alarm, but they're not set in stone. I guess that's nothing that won't be achieved very soon with a plug-in though. It might be good also to be able to hook one up to give off an electric pulse when triggered, but I suppose they are just meant to be very basic. Still, everything here is subject to change, so it may well be adjusted before the next patch. But please let me know what you think to these and what you'd like to do with them in the comments. Talking of which, I would like to see some more traps, and the subreddit is absolutely littered with them if you've ever looked, such as a spring-loaded shotgun trap on a tripwire, a flamethrower attached to a tripwire, one of these, and my all-time favourite that I'd like to see that doesn't involve a tripwire but was actually an official concept, a floor frame trapdoor. Try saying that fast 10 times. Anyway, two other stuff that's being worked on. There was a new video on Twitter about the Radtown Redux coming in September's patch, I believe. Most of these images we've already seen, but it is looking rather good, and as mentioned before, will sit just above Satellite in terms of monument level and loot, etc. September's patch will be a big one, and will hopefully address many issues with proc gen, including general blandness. Cliffs are getting a rework, finally. There will be new points of interest, and there are currently a load of commits regarding new dive sites, including work on a plane. Think the one that used to be offshore from Happis, and lobster traps. Not player deployable, I think, just decorations. There's also a new cupboard skin on the way, this one being a collab with Shockbite. I'm told this will be a reward for using the hoster server option, which can currently be seen in the menu on the staging branch. I think it'll be a permanent reward and redeemed via an emailed code or something. Now, I know a lot of you have been asking what has happened to the SKS. If you remember, this was added a while back but isn't in-game officially yet. It was originally meant to be a skin, but there was some delay as the option to include it as a separate weapon was being considered after questions from the community. Well, I did manage to find out exactly what is happening with it now. I'm told it will be releasing alongside the World Update in September, but the decision has been made to keep it as a skin for the semi-rifle and not as its own thing. Hey, this stuff costs money to make, you know! Although, as a sweetener, there is actually a new weapon coming that month, which will be a high-caliber revolver, I'm told. So, not all bad news, I guess. Let me know what you think to this below, please. In other works in progress, work is being done on parenting in elevators, which will mainly affect things like bikes and snowmobiles. There's shields, of course, as discussed in last week's vid, but these are still very early days and there's nothing to show off yet, sadly. There's a Frontier Hazmat and Hatchet skin coming down the pipe. These are also looking like they'll be a September patch DLC. And there's loads of other things the team are working on that we only have glimpses of in the commits, such as wallpaper skins, a boomerang, a rock, paper, scissors game, and a jungle biome with jungle ruins, snakes, crocodiles, tigers, and now also mention of a panther, along with trophies for the above. I did ask whether the jungle biome would be on its own separate island, but I'm told it will be incorporated into the proc gen, so will presumably be present on islands along with the other biomes, which should be interesting. It's not slated for release until 2025 though, so plenty of time to prepare yourself mentally. Anyway, that's about all the news I'm going to inflict on you this week, but please leave a like and tell me your deepest thoughts down below. Feel free to join me elsewhere, such as Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and my Steam group. Links are below. You can support this channel here with YouTube memberships and Patreon too. I shall catch you all soon, but in the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio. Hey, this stuff costs money to make, you know!